Well, good morning, everybody. It's Thursday morning. I guess it's about, oh, geez, 10:30 already. Well, anyway, uh, one little issue I want to cover. All these new people are popping up and saying there's no shortage of silver, and people that believe that there's a shortage of silver are morons, and I guess I'm a moron. Uh, but let's first talk about the big drop in silver today. Last I saw it was down 65 cents. Uh, Now, the stock market has been booming because there's been tremendous earnings that they showed for the fourth quarter, many of the Dow components. So a lot of people are moving back into equities. Uh, Nothing to worry about. We all know how the stock market behaves, and there's a lot of people, as myself, will never go back into the market. But let's that aside. That's why silver took a big dip today. But silver's I don't think is in any immediate danger. But let's talk about shortages. Uh, any Let me go back to when I was a graduate teaching assistant at the University of Miami, teaching philosophy and teaching logic. Uh, the first thing you do in philosophy, and only because in philosophy they speak so obscurely that they have to define their terms. Uh, but when we talk here, we're talking in what I term normative discourse. We're talking about how everybody uh, realizes just from normal use of language what the terms mean. But it seems like we have to define what this thing is they call shortages. Now, the gentleman that was talking about shortages, and I got in a big argument with somebody else uh, that was talking about shortages and at the same time predicting $100 silver, which 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 is okay with me. Uh, but what happens is that as long as there's silver out there, they assume there's no shortage. Now, the last figures that I have that are absolute were for 2010, and that was when 785 million ounces of silver were mined, and a billion 55 million ounces were consumed. Now, should we define consumed? Consumed means that were sold, were bought, and whether it be industrial, jewelry, bullion, whatever. That was what the demand was that year. So that means that of that demand, 275 million ounces had to be made up that wasn't mined. Now, to me, that says shortage. Now, until you're mining what your demand is, I believe that denotes a shortage. Now, you talk, well, if there's a shortage, um, uh, how can we have sold out of eagles already? Well, the way I understand it, and so I'll get to explain this a little better when we talk about India, is that the U.S. Mint is required to use silver that is mined in this country. Now, why would we put a limit on that? Well, that's to help with us our balance of trade. Because if we start importing silver just to mint it and sell it, then that money isn't being circulated in the United States. But if we're paying people in this country to mine silver and we use their silver, then that money does not leave the United States. So what's happened is there were so many orders for silver, and the eagle's the most popular silver bullion coin in the world, that they temporarily didn't meet production. So as production catches up, um, we'll have more eagles on the market. Now the other thing is, uh, they say, well, look, this year they're going to do a million kookaburras. Well, that's going to there apparently is no shortage of silver in Australia because but that's going to make the kookaburra worth less. And China's going to do 8 million pandas. But that's all good. That's good because if they can sell 8 million pandas, that takes 8 million more ounces off of the marketplace, and it creates more and more of a demand. We're buying, people are buying a lot of bullion, a lot of silver. And when you magnify that by Somalian elephants and the Canadian maple leaves and every little privy thing they're putting on it, that there's a tremendous amount of silver being used. And that there's more silver being used than is temporarily being mined. And that, to me, creates a shortage. Now, if you mean by shortage that as long as industrial demand doesn't exceed mining, then there really is no shortage because the rest of this is unnecessary. Jewelry, bullion, maybe even medical. Medical is going to be a bigger and bigger part of this. Then you say, well, that Rocky, there's no shortage. Well, if you're looking in terms of we'll always be able to buy silver, well, certainly, because there'll always be somebody that the price will be the right price to sell silver. So, but it might be $100 an ounce. It might be $50 an ounce, but it's not going to be $2 an ounce, or it's not going to be $10 an ounce. So we might see $100 silver, you know. Well, we not might we will eventually. I don't know when. That part really doesn't concern me. But the part is that we have no, um, what do I want to say? We have no shortage if you only consider industrial. But if you consider the fact that the three major only silver mines last year all lost money because they couldn't produce it at the price of silver, then there might be a shortage because they can't continue to do that. Last year, their cutoff point was they had to sell it for at least $31 an ounce. Now they're talking, oh, there might be tremendous, when you find zinc and you find copper, sometimes you find silver, and there might be tremendous amounts of silver out there. There aren't tremendous amounts of silver, you know. South America was the greatest producer of silver in the history of the world. It financed the Spanish Empire, but there's not that much left in South America. South America isn't producing that much. The Comstock lode was a tremendous amount of silver, but the Comstock lode is belly up. So it all goes by the definition of what you call a shortage. Now, I don't think there is. Uh, well, I don't think that there there's that the demand, as long as the demand exceeds what is mined, then there is a shortage. And I don't think someone using the ad hominem arguments because I think that way, referring to me as a moron, is in the best interest of us as a silver community. If we got to get down to ad hominem arguments, let's stick with uh, with basically what the facts are, and then we can discuss the terminology. So as long as well, look, I forgot about India. India last year, and this surprised me. India uh, was responsible for consuming more silver and gold than any other country in the world, and I thought it would have been China. But India is very big on jewelry. Now, because that jewelry isn't used up in computers and isn't used up in cell phones and all that, then that's, I guess, some of these people just consider that above ground silver that's available. Well, try to pry it from the wrists of some Indian girl and see how far you get. But the vast majority of the silver gone and gold gone to India isn't into their reserve bank. It's on into people wearing it. It's into jewelry. Now the Indian government, just like the United States government, sort of with the eagle, has requested that people don't buy silver and they don't buy gold because every ounce of silver they buy and every ounce of gold they buy interferes with their balance of trade. And India has to worry about their balance of trade. Well, we all do, but India more so than most. So it's not going to change the consumptive habits of the Indians. They're still going to want silver and they're still going to want gold because they've got of years history of this. So no matter what the government says. So in my opinion, yes, until uh, what we mine exceeds what the demand is, then there's a shortage. And we're using up silver at a rapid pace. Throw Africa into the mix, and there's no way you're ever going to hardwire Africa. Why would you? It's so much cheaper to have to put everything over the air. It's so much cheaper to have cell phones than it is to hardwire the continent. You have 1 billion people there, and a lot of them in the next 20 years are coming into the middle class. You have 100 million Chinese and Indians a year coming into the middle class. All these people want computers, they want cell phones, they want every other thing that uses silver. So the industrial demand for silver is going to increase. But as it increases, and as the fiat currencies lose their value, people are going to want to hold real silver, like you and me. That's what we're on these channels for. We're on these channels to encourage other people to hold silver. And every little bit of silver is taken off the marketplace adds to the demand, which adds to the price. And that's what we want to see, silver go up. So I don't know if that helped explain anything, but what I'm trying to do simply is saying that yes, I think there's a shortage, and I don't think it's constructive to because we have a little misunderstanding, or we view the term shortage in a different way to refer to people as morons. I don't think any of you out there that I communicate with on a regular basis fall into that category.